Don in London. Hello, it's January 10th, 2010. I nearly said 2009 there. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. And my addictive substance, alcohol, my behaviour, just as addictive over the years. Work, relationships, materialism, trying to look right, trying to be right, putting on an act, putting on a brave face, covering up my fears. And often I didn't even know what my fears were. I didn't even know I was living in fear. And I didn't know what the fear was. It was there, an all-pervading feeling of not being good enough and not feeling right, feeling less than, always trying to catch up, always trying to understand where happiness and joy and bliss might be, or just peacefulness. So these days I try and find peacefulness, a bit of joy, a bit of serenity on a daily basis. And sometimes it's quite difficult. It's like everything in life, we work at it. Life is difficult, as M. Scott Peck said. And apparently, according to his obituary, he was a chain-smoking, gin-sodden philanderer. And he died at 69. So, you know, what sort of life did he have? And the question, I suppose, there is, we can write about it, talk about it, deliver speeches all about it. That's all about life. And actually, the gift is living life in the moment of now, understanding our spiritual connection to life, life in the moment, this imperfectly perfect moment of now. And what's that got to do with addiction? Well, if anybody's lived in fear of something, not sure where drinking went to dependent drinking and then to addiction, and as I say, if it wasn't alcohol, it would have been something else, a substance or a behaviour. Where are we if we can get to recovery? And the answer is we meet the day as it is, and that's life on life's terms. So I'm very grateful actually just to be in recovery one day at a time. If you give me a longer time scale, I'm looking into the future, and I can't live the future. And if I'm looking backwards, it gives me wisdom, experience, strength and hope of what is good for me and what is bad for me. And it would be unhelpful for me to try and think or feel it would be okay to try a drink or to, I suppose, fix myself in some way. So these days I don't want to fix myself, I want to live. I want to live in the moment of now and experience whatever it is I'm feeling, whatever the emotion is, so that it informs me of where I am and hopefully in the moment of now. So what has helped me get into recovery? Well, family who loved me long enough and through the most difficult of times, and friends and community and professionals who kept me going when I didn't know how to keep myself going, until I got those moments of clarity. And I was a very poor student when it came to getting out of addiction. And the reason why? I used my intellect, my thinking, my self-will run riot to self-obsession. And what I didn't realise was trying to go it alone made me isolated, shameful, guilty, negative about what I could portray to the world. So if anybody rang me up, if I dared answer the phone, I would say, yes, I'm okay. And if anybody came to the door, when I had a door, I wasn't homeless, I wouldn't answer it. I would shut the curtains, shut down, not open envelopes, and it's no wonder I ended up homeless. And that's just part of the story. And, you know, it's sad when we think we've got everything and then we have nothing. Or we have everything and it feels like we have nothing. And what I'm learning on a daily basis, with a bit of fellowship in my life, and family, and society, and professionals, that life can work as it can. No bigger, no smaller, that's me, than anybody else. Just making sense of the moment and living in the moment, hopefully. So what has helped me along the way? Fellowship, the fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, full of unique, authentic people, unique and authentic people on their own unique, authentic path, with one similarity, which keeps us together in fellowship. So we find not only fellowship but friendship. We find how to be ourselves, how to love each other and to be loved and to love. And then find something useful to do, which is part of what I do here. So what is AA doing for me? Well, I share literature here, as well as the message of it's okay to get to recovery, to put down the fear, the guilt, the shame, and get on with life, and try and be a part of again. So there is a statement of intent about what AA is about, and it's called the AA Preamble, shared at every meeting, and it goes like this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and to help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. I think I said one line over again there, that's why I paused. Progress, not perfect, and I've been saying this for a long time. I could recite it, but then I'd forget it. And in reading it, I'm slowing myself down into the moment of now. That is what it's all about for me, living in the moment, not looking back and staring, but not forgetting. And also, if anybody reminds me of my past, it's quite right that they do, because they have something to say about it. And often we want to brush it under the carpet, but it's better just to say, yes, my God, that was then, and thank goodness it's now. And don't try and deny or put off or shove away anything these days. Deal with it openly, honestly, and with a willing heart, so that I don't have to hide away or feel shameful about the fact that I have a chronic ailment, and that is alcoholism. Yeah, and it's recovery one day at a time. So even the professionals will give you different answers about what is right or wrong around this subject. Some people talk about being recovered. Some people talk about being in recovery. It's a personal choice how you wish to label yourself, but being in recovery suits me fine. And I don't have to worry about it. Anyway, the daily reflections for today in this book, 12 steps of action in the 12-step action program of AA to help us change our attitudes and behaviour on a daily basis. So we have literature, daily readings, a big book to take to bed with us if we are suffering from insomnia, you name it. There's something there to keep us industrious towards being in the moment and living it. And for today it says, United we stand. We learned that we had to fully concede to our innermost selves that we were alcoholics. This is the first step in recovery. The delusion that we are like other people, or presently may be, has to be smashed. In other words, we've crossed a line, and if we try to go back over it, back to where we thought we were, I think most people find it bites us back. I came to Alcoholics Anonymous because I was no longer able to control my drinking. It was either my wife's complaining about my drinking, or maybe the sheriff forced me to go to AA meetings, or perhaps I knew deep down inside that I couldn't drink like others, but I was unwilling to admit it because the alternative terrified me. That is life without a drink. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women united against a common fatal disease. Each one of our lives is linked to every other, much like the survivors on a life raft at sea. If we all work together, we can get safely to shore. And for me, either it's to get to the shoreline and safe ground, or in the lifeboat again, because we can always dive back into the ocean and do a bit more research. Not recommended by me, not now. Anyway, the serenity prayer at the end of my videos is to God or good conscience, whatever is your particular belief, faith or understanding of what helps, and it's around acceptance. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, for me, is just for today.